make motions.
I'd like to call the Albany Selectmen's meeting to order at 5:33 for April 12th. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. New business, approval of the March 29th Selectmen meeting minutes. I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
I second? Oh wait, I have to
You
recuse
can-
myself.
she can
because I
second
wasn't
it, though.
here.
Second, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could vote on them. I just really.
Okay, I'll second.
Discussion. Call it to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the April 12 consent file, which consists of review and signed manifests in the amount of $4,410.58 and $68,060.31. This includes accounts payable and payroll manifests for April 5th and April 12th. Review, discuss, and approve gravel tax warrant for map 7, lot 58. Review, discuss, and approve a petition for a poll license from Consolidated Communications. Review, discuss, and approve and sign a notice of intent to excavate map 7, lot 58 for 2023. Review, discuss, and approve and sign a timber tax warrant for map 9, lot 92 and map 8, lot 68. And review the tax rate for the cut.
So,
Should we do it?
second for discussion, because I want to talk about that last one.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent file.
I second. So,
Discussion?
I don't know if you want to carve it out. You may want to carve it out if you change. So I gave this to Pete Howland as our forester that prices these out. And then I called the forester because both of these cuts came with a notation from their forester. They hired a forester and saying that they would not have normally cut these, but it was gypsy moth damage and that they did not get anywhere near the amount of money that they would have gotten for the cut. So Pete priced it out at 58%. The forester came out and he actually has photos, because when I showed him those intents, he went out and took pictures of those first couple logs they cut, and there is a lot of bug damage. And so he said that the Board of Selectmen should consider that in their pricing of that. So he showed me this matrix they've got on their website, and based on, it's got good access and the wood would normally be good, but the condition is so poor that it came out to be like a 1 instead of a 3. So Pete kind of priced it at 58%. What the forester showed me, the matrix, it actually comes out at a 1 or 1.5, which would be like 17%. You could also do it at 0, which doesn't make it 0, or you could vote to no charge them. So I figured it out at all those prices, and they're in there. They're in your packet. So at 58%, which is what Pete originally, the Tin Mountain one would be. The Tin Mountain one would have been $426, and the Malcolm B. Thomas one would have been $991. At 17%, they are, sorry, got a lot of papers here tonight. So it's 17%. Oh, they're in your packet, not mine. Shit.
Here in the packet. Actually, I'm still reading.
They're in the main. Can I have this stuff you've already gone through? I'm sorry, I should have made myself copies. So at the 17%, which is a grading of 1,
Do you see the info? Because I don't see it in my document.
The Tin Mountain one would have been $281. So you're going from 991, or you're going from 426 down to 281. So it's about half at 17%. And then if you did it at 0, it would be $220. So it's only.
That's not what we had in our,
So what you have in your packet is at 0%. That's the one I made the copy. But I also ran it at Pete's number of 58%, and I ran it at the Forrester's matrix number of 17%. So I did I ran it 3 separate times so that you could get an idea. So I don't know how you can choose to no charge them because they cut gypsy damage. But the thing is, they got some money for it.
yeah,
So you want them to pay some taxes.
Yep.
The problem is we just don't know how much they got because they aren't.
you can ask them for the slips.
You could ask them for the tear sheets, but they also paid the Forester, which is a barter arrangement. So, I mean, it's up to you guys.
I've never
But-
had this issue.
Huh?
I've never had this issue.
Yeah, I think because it's gypsy moth damage. Again, these had been cut recently, so it's nothing they would have cut if they didn't have gypsy moth damage. So like the forest ranger said, he's like, you don't want to charge them at the highest rate because they didn't get that money for that. It's only good for veneer. And you don't want to discourage owners from taking care of gypsy moth damage because then the other people around them that don't cut, it just keeps the gypsy moths here.
Did you reach out for for a recommendation from Pete?
No, he just had knee replacement. So
I know.
I sent this to him the day he had the knee replacement. I was actually surprised I got it back so fast. And rather than bothering him, I had the forest ranger come up and show me how to run the matrix and asked him for his opinion. He can't tell us what to charge,
Right.
but he said he thought it was fair to give the selectmen the choice of 0, 17. He absolutely does not agree with the 58%. He said we'd be hard pressed to defend that value. But it's up to you.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I think I'd like to get an opinion from Pete. He is the professional.
I sent the letters to Pete. He had the pictures and the bug damage, and he still rated it 58.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I sent him the letters that the forester included. I sent him everything that I sent the forest ranger. If you want me to go back to him, I can.
I mean, this is out of my wheelhouse. I don't really know where to go with the offer. Besides what you mentioned as getting rid of this diseased wood is a good thing, and to charge more
Yeah.
would discourage people from doing the same.
Right, but I mean, you've got two things to weigh here. You want them to pay taxes on what they actually received. They don't have to necessarily, they have to provide us with a tear sheet, but they don't actually have to tell us what they paid the forester. I don't think the forester will tell us what they paid him. I can go back and get their tear sheets.
It's the same forester for both these properties that are abutting.
I don't know the answer to that. 992 and 868. So it's
Well, they're
Tin
right
Mountain
there.
and Malcolm B. Thomas, so fairly.
They're right there. I mean,
Yeah, and they're pretty big properties too.
They are.
So why would they pay tax on the home? I don't understand why there's even a conversation.
Because we don't know what they actually got. I can go back and ask the owners to give me all their tear sheets.
I think that's what they're for, right? Tear sheets?
It's a lot of work for $200.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your call. You have to set the tax. That's what you do. But I tried to give you as much wiggle room as I could. And again, there's not a big difference between 0 and 17%. But there is a
So
big difference between 17%
Thomas
and
is
50%.
$490
So Thomas was
and $220 for Tin Mountain.
okay, so Tin Mountain at the full 58% is $426. And Malcolm B. Thomas is $991. But
this at $490 is,
so yeah, it's like half. So this is at 0%. And that's based on that grading matrix. So you get like points for accessibility, which they've got great accessibility. You get points for, the kind of cut it is. So they've got a fair grade for the cut. What they really get no points for is the quality of the wood, because it's not, you can't use it as lumber. It can only be used in like veneer and poor
I
quality
think
stuff.
after listening to that, I would say go with what you have here at 0 and still collect $220 from Tin Mountain and
It's-
$490 from Malcolm Thomas.
Yeah, it's the lowest you can really go. I mean, you could go lower by just making a motion to no charge them or making a motion to abate half of that. But this would be the lowest rating they could get. And I think that that's kind of fair if it's, but I mean, and again, we caught it when the intent came in that it was bug damage. So the forest ranger went out and took actual pictures of the first couple logs they cut, and I have those too. I think I might even, yeah, they're here of, what the condition was. And so he felt comfortable that it is not great wood. It was pretty, and they're pretty happy that they try to cut it. I guess the gypsy moss thing is a 3-year infestation, and then
Spongy moth.
it's gone in 3, they call it gypsy moth, but it's gone in 3 years, and then it's like, that's another cyclical thing, and then the wood will come back. And so if you're okay with this, then the consent file is exactly what was on the top and you signed.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're okay with it?
I'm okay with that.
All right.
So do we-
Anything else? We're gonna vote on the consent file as presented.
Okay.
Great. Is there anything else for discussion on the consent file?
No, I think that was the final.
Sorry, that was kind of confusing. I didn't know what.
No, I've never
I
come
felt
across
like
that
if
at
I provided
all.
you with all 3 without giving you a narrative, then it would
Yeah.
be even why she charged them 3 times. So I ran the numbers 3 times, but I didn't probably provide you with all the data you need
Yeah.
to look at.
Yeah.
Could have done a better job of that.
Further discussion on the consent file?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Okay, I'll call to a vote. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Review, discuss the National Flood Insurance Program, community responsibilities, and name a community administrator/contact.
So who was this person previously?
I
Probably.
don't have any idea. They did not
Probably the town
provide.
administrator.
They did not provide it to me, and I know nothing about this program.
Okay.
So if
Could it be a health officer?
I would actually think it should stay within the selectman's office and not necessarily name a person, but name the position of town administrator. And then, as things turn around, it just stays. I don't know how often this comes up.
I don't
don't
know
know.
either. But the thing is we're supposed to attest to the fact that we're following this, and I don't know that we are, because that would be the building permit administrator that should be reviewing this. And I think it's kind of weird to make my office in charge of it, but then when he gets a building permit, that's fine. I mean, if you want the town administrator to be on the form.
No, you know what? this might have been planning board. Or the conservation commission.
The problem is they don't get the building permits. The responsibilities, if you look at the adoption of the
Yeah.
floodplain management, so they should do that. Administer a permit process for all, well, I guess the planning board
Yeah.
does do all this, really. Because if you have a development, that's going before them. Make determination whether a proposed development is located in a special flood head. Require compliance with the community's floodplain ordinance for all proposed development. Yeah, I mean, this should be really part of the subdivision regulations, right? Compliance of permanent development, obtain and review. So do you want to just do it the same way, just do the planning board? And just put chairman of the planning board?
Yep.
Okay.
We need a motion for that.
No, I'm just gonna put that the planning board is tasked with community responsibilities. And I'll make sure that Sean gets a copy of this.
Next, review and discuss the organization of the Board of Selectmen for 2023, including but not limited to chair, vice chair, representative on the planning board, conservation commission, representative to North Country Council, and transportation advisory committee.
And the last two, you can probably wait till they send out their forms, because I'm not sure their year runs the same as our
I
year.
haven't
Okay.
heard a word about it, and I
But-
have no problem staying.
Chair, vice chair, and planning board rep.
I would like to nominate Jen Spofford for chair of the Board of Selectmen for 2023.
Here, here. Second,
Aye, aye.
put your big boy pants on and let's do it.
Accept. Okay, all right. I'd like to nominate as vice chair Kelly Rubitel as vice chair for the Board of Selectmen
I
for
second.
2023.
I second that.
Accept. Thank you. I'd like to nominate to the planning board for the Board of Selectmen representative Kelly Rubitel.
I second.
Yes.
And then Conservation Commission, it is not required that we have a selectman representative on that board. I'm not sure how many members. I do think they have 5 members. So I'm not sure if it would even be a voting position, honestly.
Yeah. I've watched some of their meetings and it's pretty boilerplate. They don't do much every month. If it was I couldn't do it anyway because I'm on the planning board.
It's Kathy, John,
Kevin Tilton,
Kevin Tilton,
Cor Hansen.
Court. Oh, Mike Stewart.
Mike
They do
Stewart.
have 5.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Unless
If
somebody
it's-
has the time, if you had
No.
the time and wanted to.
No.
So I think we'll pass on the Conservation Commission and we'll just keep updated through their minutes and such.
Who seconded the Kelly Robitel as the selectman's rep?
Jen did.
Okay. And then you didn't vote on any of them, right? You just nominated.
Nominated.
Did you vote on any of them?
So I'll make a motion. How do you do that? You're
I would just-
appointing
I mean, you nominated them all, so then I would just make a motion
to appoint.
to appoint them.
Make a motion to appoint Chair of the Board of Selectmen, Jen Spofford, Vice Chair, Kelly Robitel, Planning Board Representative.
I second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll take over.
Okay.
And that's that.
That's that.
Cut and pay. I hope you don't mind it.
Oh my gosh, the chair's so much lower than that one.
Change your plate. Change your nameplate.
Hey,
Okay.
alrighty.
All right, next on the
You guys are
agenda, we are. Let me just find my place. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you haven't?
File. Is there something I'm missing?
Nope,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay. All right. I know you'll be there for that. Thank you.
I try to
Um,
stay up with it.
Okay.
I do sneak things in on occasion.
All right. So.
E.
So yeah, review and discuss and nominate a health officer for the town of Albany, and I think we.
Well, I know, like, we haven't had much action in the health officer area. Anytime that we do have action, it just seems like things have fallen through the cracks and we don't have reports to back us up.
Okay.
When we try to take action, because they're going to go out and inspect, but I think the Board of Selectmen are ones to enforce whatever violation it might be.
Okay.
With that, it's important to have backup, to show that we're doing our due diligence.
Yeah.
So with that, I started asking around, and our building permit administrator is the health officer for the town of Conway and the town of Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him if he would be interested in maybe serving Albany. And I told him what we would need, what happens, and what we're looking for is reports that will show what he did and pictures and what have you, just so we have backup and things don't come back on us.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, I would make a
Are we
motion
nominating?
to nominate David Pandora as a health officer for the town of Albany. We nominate, the state of New Hampshire actually appoints, isn't that correct?
Okay. I second that
Do you want
nomination.
to discuss it?
I'm
Oh, sorry.
totally in favor. I
Yeah.
mean, we need a professional in the position.
I think so
Yeah.
too, it's important.
Just the other day after getting an email, I drove by that property on Passaconaway, and that should have been taken care of.
Yep.
That's
It was.
we need to really address that, and
Yep.
it's slipping through
The
the
other
cracks.
thing
Like you
is-
said, I didn't hear nothing about it till I heard it through an email
The
from
health
the office.
officer on occasion like that shouldn't be going out alone. Needs to-
No, but we should
A
have a
deputy.
report on it
Oh, okay.
and know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's just one.
So I'll just say, for the record, because you guys, none of you were here then, my first summer here, that was taken care of. And Joe Ferris was the health officer and Kathy Ryan was the deputy, and they went out there and they took photographs and video, and they got it cleaned up. It's just, it's one of those things that has to be, you have to stay on top of,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and it's not just that. Health officer aside, we have a code enforcement problem in this town. Every single week now, somebody's bringing something forward that is an issue, and we don't have a code enforcement officer. And it's becoming
Nor the budget for it this year.
it's becoming really apparent that I'm not capable of doing it. You three certainly aren't capable of doing it. So, we luck out when it's a health officer issue because we can get the health officer on the bandwagon. But without a code enforcement officer, it really falls to you or your office. And I'm just afraid there's a lot of things falling through the cracks because we only address what a complaint is filed about, and it's not fair that we're picking the low-hanging fruit kind of.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of it out there that a lot more violations out there than what we ever find out
I
about.
think it's something that we should investigate this year and maybe budget for next year.
Yeah, I'll make
And
it
that'll
up.
give us a whole year to find somebody to
A
take the
code
role.
enforcement officer.
Yeah,
But we
of
have-
course it would be part-time.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
would he need to accept the terms and the money and?
Yep.
So
He signed an appointment there, and
Oh, it's a nomination and then it goes to
we
the.
nominate, and then the state will appoint. and he said yes.
Okay.
He would do it, and he has his background check. It's from 2021, but he said if the state doesn't accept it, he can get another one done.
Okay. Great. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on. Review, discuss, and approve, deny reappointment of Sean Wadsworth, Mike Stewart, and Kevin Tilton as members of the Conservation Commission upon the recommendation of the Concom.
I will make a motion to reappoint Sean Wadsworth, Mike Stewart, and Kevin Tilton as members of the Conservation Commission.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on. Review, discuss, and approve, deny appointment of Robert Parrish as Albany's representative to the local River Management Advisory Committee.
I will make a motion to approve the appointment of Robert Parrish as Albany's representative to the local River Management Advisory Committee.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on.
Aye.
Review. Sorry.
I'm used to being third.
Review, discuss, approve, deny appointment for Sherry Coleman as a member of the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment for Sherry Coleman as member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Second.
All right.
Big job.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. So it looks like there was a agenda item that was tabled from last select board meeting. So we will go to that.
So the board asked me to find out about whether who was on and still interested in being on the zoning board. So Sam Farrington and Sherry Coleman were both up in 2023. Sherry got back to me and said she would serve, so I gave you her appointment. You've already approved that. Sam has not answered, and I don't know if you want to appoint people without getting a response. And you asked, so we also had Keith Croto was an alternate, and generally you give the alternate a chance to move up into the full membership. I did check with him, and he said he could not be a full member at this time, but his alternate position doesn't expire until 2024, and he said he would stay on for that. So right now you're 2 full members short. If the alternate moves up into a voting member, if you have a case, then you'd still be 1 full member short. If Sam gets on, then you can do it with Keith, but you'd only have 4 full-time and 1 alternate. So that's kind of,
You have to have 5.
right.
You have to have 5. I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Ferris as a member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Okay. Second.
Discussion? Sorry.
That's okay. Old habits. Any discussion? No. All right. Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Next on the agenda, the town administrator's report. I was trying to give you some time to table that.
Okay, so Bill from Valley Vision pinged me last week, and I guess he was talking to the town of Conway about what had been paid for Valley Vision services. Not like the actual billing that we get for the videography that's kind of new last year, but what we had paid in warrant articles, because he understood that. He knew that there was a year where people said no. So I went back, so then I asked him for more information because I was a little confused what he's looking for. So then I went back and I looked at all the minutes of all the town meetings. So he had 2018 was $13.50. We paid that on 12/21. 2019 he had $13.50, but it was actually increased to $2,700 and it failed. So that was the year that failed, 2019. 20 was $2,500 and that got paid. 2021 was $2,700 and I only paid $2,500. So we actually owe them $200 from a petition warrant article, which is kind of a big mistake, which is why I wrote you this email and said, made a big mistake. So basically, I'm just asking permission. Well, first of all, I wanted you to know that I made this mistake and that it's $200. We write them a check that rectifies it.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure you knew that I had made the mistake. And then 2022 was $2,700 and we paid that. And then 2023 is going to be $3,600 and we've already paid half of that. So all I'm asking is to rectify 2021 and pay the town of Conway an additional $200. So it's gonna be weird because it's gonna look like I overpaid the warrant article. So I'm gonna write a separate check so that it doesn't look like
Yeah.
I'm paying money that we didn't get voted on because it's from a previous year. But yeah, we need to fix that. So I don't really need a vote, but I wanted you guys to know that I made a mistake. I caught it. Bill caught it.
Good.
We caught it. Now we can fix it.
Good.
And then the other thing was really not an action item, but now that town meeting's over, I have put the budget in and ran the first quarterly expenditure and revenue report. And I've got to say, the expenditures are fine. There's nothing really, but the revenue. So Coleman bought 5 cement mixers, and we have collected 50% of what we budgeted already. So I budgeted $350,000 because we got a smidge. I think we got $360 last year. I budgeted $350, and we've already collected $178,000. So obviously, before we set the tax rate in September, we get another bite at the apple with a revised MS 434. So obviously, we will be increasing those numbers. So as you know, I think you remember at budget time, our operating budget was more money, but we were actually raising less of it from taxes. So this makes that even better if our revenue is higher than, and on top of that, I hadn't budgeted anything under the sale of municipal property. Now they did move the $32,000 that we got on the auction back into 2023 because we actually closed on those in December. So that's going to be an unassigned fund balance. But we're collecting on these other redemption properties, so that'll be a little bit more too. So revenue is looking nice and healthy, and should make for a fairly even tax rate, I think.
Oh, good.
Well, so I can only say from the town's
Prediction.
perspective,
Yeah.
I know.
the school is a whole nother,
Yeah.
the school is 65% of our tax rate, so
Yeah.
we would never have enough money to positively affect that if something horrible happens. But at least from the town view, we seem to be having a good revenue year and not a horrendous expenditure year. So that's kind of good news.
Anything else?
Nope.
No. All right. So moving on is the public hearing. No public. Old business. Nothing new there. I mean, obviously old business, but
We did.
I don't have any news about the chapel.
So the chapel did, the town attorney has sent the Cypress petition and affidavit to Charitable Trust and will keep us updated.
Okay.
So we're one step closer to getting our court date.
Okay.
So that actually is kind of moving forward.
Oh,
And
that's good.
I think I put that in your packets. He emailed me on last Friday about that. So.
Okay. And then the flap grant.
Flap grant, I did send out an email, but
Yeah.
I mean, she says she'll email me by the end of the week, and 4 months later, I still haven't heard from her. So this is not surprising.
No. All right. Moving on to other business. Planning board.
There's no meeting last month. There wasn't
Okay.
a quorum.
Anything else? Anything, Kelly? All right. Correspondence. Review and discuss notice from the USDA regarding Hales Location Wildfire Resiliency Project. I mean, yeah, not really.
There's
I gotta get
basically,
to that.
there's a lot of information here and a
Yeah.
map and everything, and then there's a comment section if you want to go on and make any kind of comments. So
Okay.
I might Do you think I should put this up on the website, or do you think it's? I mean, it might be worth it if people have some interest.
Any discussion about that? No? Okay, so moving on. We don't have to vote on anything
No,
on
no,
that.
no.
Just mail.
All right.
Just
Okay.
information.
All right. Sorry, I'm going kind of slow. Review and discuss first quarter fire department stats. Anything?
No.
No.
Looks normal.
Looks
I
good.
really wish you'd give us last year's next to these. then
Oh,
we kinda
yeah,
would-
yeah.
Would you
Comparison.
mind if I asked him if
No,
he'd do that?
that's a good
Because
idea.
I think it
That's
would be good to
Yeah.
kind of know where we're
Yeah.
going. I mean, obviously the fire calls probably are not going down, but it'd be interesting to kind of track how much they're going up.
Okay, review and discuss SU9's email regarding installation of a 4-inch above groundwater main on the border between the railroad property and the town of Albany's property from the river for the purpose of irrigating the athletic fields at Kennett Middle School.
So I just got this Tuesday. I did already forward it to the Conservation Commission because my understanding is they're really the authority and jurisdiction of the town forest. But I didn't know if you guys had wanted, is it weird, or is it just me that, is it weird to install an above ground 4-inch main?
I think
No.
I
In
think
New
it is,
Hampshire?
but I don't know anything about
No, they don't.
irrigation.
What do they do with them in the winter? Are they temporary mains,
No,
or
they're-
do they just
They're
blow
cold
them out?
cocked. They sail down below. So when you shut them off,
So they're like dry hydrants.
yeah. But it basically is, but it gets pumped. But it's not that. It's like your outside faucet on your house. When you shut it off, it shuts down inside. It's standard. I have a bunch where I work.
So, did we get any federal money for the town forest? Do you know? When we acquired that land from Kennett, did we get any kind of grants or?
I don't think so.
We have easements through the Upper Saco Valley Trust.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if there's any constraints on what can be done on that. Like if there were
There is.
federal grants and stuff, then
There is.
it might not be up to us either.
No, but the Upper Saco Valley does, and so.
So will the Conservation Commission know to check with them? Okay.
Yeah,
So should
or
I
they can
just?
check the easements themselves.
I told him that I was taking it to the Board of Selectmen for their review, and also that the Conservation Commission oversees the town forest, and I sent it to them. Should I just let him know that they only meet once a month, and they probably won't have a
May
minute?
2nd, that'd be.
May 2nd. Okay, I'll just let him know, because I don't want him to think we're blowing him off, but it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, they're not ready to start irrigating yet.
No, and the farmers, I think,
Yeah, they're
pretty excited, but probably not up to the farmers.
no.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the farmers would like the water, and getting it easier would make their operation better, but I just want to make sure we don't step on the Conservation Commission's toes, and that they get a time to look into it.
All right, so moving on to public comment and then non-public session.
Yeah, two of those.
You do, okay. All right, so should we just end the meeting but then go into non-public session?
I think the only thing I would ask is that you guys read into the record, because these came at the last minute, these two code enforcement. So I presented you with letters. It was brought to the town's attention that there might be there's a possible zoning violation at 426 Drake Hill Road with a year-round yard sale.
Okay.
And it says yard sale. There's a sign out there
Okay.
and everything, which you signed. And then there was a shed. It appears allegedly that there is a shed beam. There's a framed thing there. We can't tell if it's on the ground or on a trailer. But clearly, either way, that meets the definition of a structure or building. So I put in all the sightings, and the
Okay.
copies of the zoning, and I just wanted to make sure that the addresses and the issue got read into the minutes, so that
Okay.
if in case we're looking for it 2 years from now, we know
Okay.
that you guys signed the letters and they have, some time to let us know what's actually going on.
So-
You could have a yard sale for 15 days, but
15, yeah.
All right, so I will make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91-AL32C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any persons other than the member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or any levy, or any other levy, if based on inability to pay or property of the applicant.
I will second that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
And I just wanted to say our next meeting will be April 26th at 5:30 p.m. at the Albany Town Meeting.